Welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at sowing seeds. My son wanted to do this with me, so we decided to sow some hot peppers, as you can see in this tray. And in this tray we did some tomatoes and bell pepper. So I had him do the second tray just so he can get an understanding of, how to do planting. So you see these are labeled because when they germinate they all look alike. So just to know what we're planting, we kind of label those. The second tray we didn't label because they definitely look different when they germinate. So here is day 5, I believe, after sowing. So naturally, as we could assume, that the tomatoes would have germinated first, usually 5 to 10 days with tomatoes. The peppers takes a little bit longer. The peppers can take up to 21 days. So if you sow seeds and you see they're not germinating after 2 weeks, just keep watering. Don't overwater, but just keep watering. Make sure they get some heat and all of that stuff to help them germinate. And some of the things you want to keep in mind, because seeds really require just oxygen, the right temperature and moisture. And as I said before, don't overwater. And just maybe a few seeds that require light. Like lettuce is one of those seeds. They go through a process called photoblastism, I believe the name is. So that's a process that they go through, but we're not doing any lettuce, so we don't really concern about needing light for germination. And as you saw, there are several seedlings in those tray cells. I think my son got a little bit excited and put multiple seeds. You want to put at most 2 seeds just in case one doesn't germinate. If both germinate, then we're going to transplant the stronger one. So we got a little bit excited here. So we have like 4 seedlings in one cell. So I want to try to avoid that. Seed depth. You want to plant your seed 1/4 of an inch. That's just the right depth for optimal germination. You don't want to plant it too deep or too shallow, because if you plant it shallow, sometimes you water it and the water splashes and the seed get displaced. So you don't want to plant it too shallow. And if you see, we have more germinated here, and there's another process called hardening off that you want to do with your seedlings. Once you get those first leaves, those are called seed leaves, and then the second pair of leaves are called true leaves. And once you start seeing those, then you can bring them out. Give them early morning sun, not 12 noon, not 1 p.m. Early morning when the sun is just right, and then in the afternoon or in the late evening, you bring those out just to get them toughened up for transplanting. So that's an important process of transplanting your seedlings, just so you have success. See, this cell, we have no germination taking place here. So could be that the seeds are planted too deep, or again, as I said before, it can take up to 21 days. Maybe it's just not ready yet. So keep watering. Again, don't overwater. And you want to make sure that you give it a little bit of heat. Make sure the potting